I was dating a guy and he flew out another girl to stay with him while I was out of town. So let's set the scene. I meet this guy on Hinge, this was a couple years ago, and we'd been dating for about a month. And I had plans to go out of the country for about a week and a half, which he had known about since we first met. And about a week before I'm supposed to leave, he says, hey, there's something I want to talk to you about. I had told this girl who I know, who is from another state, we met, through mutual friends and stayed in touch, that she could come stay with me for a few days. Those dates coincided with when I was out of town. So he says, I had told this girl she could fly out and come stay with me, and if it makes you uncomfortable, I will cancel the trip and tell her not to come. So he was putting it on me to cancel this girl's flights. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not making that decision for you. So I said, we're not exclusive. We've only known each other for a month. I want you to do what you would do in this situation. If based on your own ethics and your own moral compass, you feel like it's not appropriate to fly out a girl from another state and have her stay with you while the girl you're dating that you really like is out of town, don't do it. If you feel like it is appropriate, then you should do it. And I will react to whatever decision you make in the way that I feel is appropriate. Now, you might be saying you're playing games, you're testing him, but the reality of it is none of that is true. I want to know the morals, the ethics, the behavior of the person I'm dating without me having to dictate that for them. So if you're the kind of person who wants to fly out a girl from another state and have her stay with you while the girl you like is out of town, maybe we're not compatible, but I don't want to have to tell you not to do that. Not my responsibility. So I said a nicer version of that, and he never brought it up again, and I went out of town, so I assumed that this girl just didn't come. And for a bunch of different reasons, I end up coming back for my trip like 2 or 3 days early. And the morning I get back, he says, hey, when you get back from the airport, let's go get breakfast. And I say, sure, I'm not doing anything. So we meet up for breakfast, and as we're leaving, I think I asked, like, hey, what happened with that girl? Like, how did you cancel her trip? Because he hadn't said anything about it, so I was assuming that she didn't come. And he said, oh, I didn't. She ended up coming and staying with me. And I said, oh, when did she leave? And he says, she hasn't left. I'm going back to my house right now to drop her off at the airport. So he left this girl who flew out to stay with him to have breakfast with me and then told me about it. And then when I said, are you out of your mind? He said, I thought you would be flattered that I left her to hang out with you. So, yeah, I don't know. It's giving psycho. But I say all that because you don't necessarily need to dictate someone's behavior, especially in early dating. Let them show you who they are. Let them show you how they treat people they're dating, because that gives you all the information you need.
Single ladies over 30, stop asking men silly questions when you meet them. What's your zodiac sign? What's your favorite meal? Where do you like to shop? You're learning absolutely nothing asking that man those types of questions. Ask him questions that matters, like, what do you do for a living? What are your future plans? What do you see yourself in 5 years? How's your relationship with your parents? So tell me, what are you looking for in a relationship? Do you plan to get married and start a family one day? Ask important questions. You need to find out in the beginning if this dude is worth entertaining, worth your time, worth your energy. Learn to get honest with men when they come into your life about who you are, what you want, how you expect to be treated. Weed them out in the beginning. Standards only scare off weak men with wrong motives, and that's exactly what you want. Time is money. Money is time. Ain't nobody got time to be playing with a grown man who ain't got no future plans. Let him go do that with someone else. Your time is valuable. Make sure you respect that. Let's go, Nat Nation. Be smart, date smart, choose wisely. And remember, I told you.
Please do not expect anything from me if you take me on a dinner date, and not because, no, that's not good enough. I'm cheap. I can be taken to the gas station and take you to Pound Town. I don't want to go to a dinner date and you think you're going to get laid after because I have IBS. Yeah, if you take me to get a steak, perhaps, I'm going to be so fucking bloated and fart on the whole entire drive home after I leave that date. I'm certainly not driving back to your house with you so you can put it down on me while I'm holding in a massive fart attack. You know what I mean? Like, let's do all that business beforehand or wait till the next time we go on a date. But we're not getting freaky if we just ate steak and then you're going to wait till afterwards to get that. No. No. Count me out. Try someone else.
As somebody who is pansexual, I will say it's not that there's no point in dating a man. It just depends on who I meet and what I feel. And lately it seems to be women, but it's not to say that I might not meet a man that I do connect with, and hopefully I can take some of the learnings I've had about, you know, emotional intimacy, about sexual intimacy, and apply it to a new interaction. What I've found is the likelihood of me having that sort of a connection with somebody who is, you know, a female, a woman, you know, femme presenting, it's a little bit higher than when it's been with someone who does identify as, you know, being male. So it's just my experience, and it's not to say, oh, there's no point. I'm still open, and you can't help how you feel. Just depends on who you meet.
This is my controversial dating advice as someone that has gone on plenty of dates. I am single, and I started going on dates with different guys these past couple years that I've been single, and I feel like I've learned a good amount about dating. Never do that fake reach to pull out your card so you can pay. If you're reaching, don't get mad if a man allows you to pay. I'm not gonna do a fake reach. If you invited me to dinner, to me it's common sense that obviously the man invited you to dinner, the man is gonna pay for the dinner. I just feel like doing the fake reach leaves room for the men that maybe don't want to put in the full effort, and then it's like you're giving them an invite to treat you less. So don't do it. My second advice is be very careful when a man is physical at all with you in the first date. Like if he breaks the touch barrier, if he like grabs your leg or whatever it is, I just don't think it's a good sign. I'm not saying just drop him immediately. I'm just saying a lot of guys that are only after one thing will be the type to try to kiss you on the first date or like try to break that touch barrier in some way. And I've noticed the men that were more worth my time never tried touching me in any way on our first date. They were literally scared to try to make a move. If you guys had a great first date, do not plan the second date. Let him plan the second date. Don't be the one to initiate the second date. He has to show you he wants a second date with you. Don't go and like start talking about a second date if he hasn't even mentioned one. Let him be the one and let him plan it. That just shows his level of effort and if he really wants to pursue you further. So I think I will say some guys are very respectful, but they might not know exactly what you expect and what you want. You have to show them a little bit. For example, let's say you want a man that's gonna open your car door when you get in and out of the car. Maybe he's a good guy, but he just isn't in the habit of doing that. Say it in a nice way. I've done this before. Just be like, oh, like my door looks heavy. Like make a joke out of it. A guy that likes you, he wants to please you, he wants to make you happy, he'll have no problem opening the door for you. And lastly, never go into a date trying to impress a man. Be yourself. Don't try to change your beliefs so that they align with his and he likes you better. It just shows that you don't respect yourself. So respect yourself enough to not be there just trying to impress him. That is not the goal. The goal is to get to know each other. Those are some of my dating tips. I haven't been going on dates in a while, but I'm kind of wanting to start again, and maybe I'll make it a little series.